there have been some very interesting challenges in some of them. For instance, the Shawa mural that I did for the family, they're friends of mine, so I had a blast visiting with them and finding out about them. But the reference photographs were all wedding photographs. So you're all standing there stiff as a board, and I had to put them around the table and doing different things. So I took the heads and placed them on bodies. So that was very interesting. But the history behind it, I had no idea about the history of the various families and the whole community, and basically the history of Alberta. So it certainly has informed me a great deal, and I think the community has benefited from that. The gift to the community is unity in several respects. Before the mural project, there was a lot of tension between the French and English, and I don't know if that's common to every community, but there had been a struggle about forming a school, a Francophone school, and all this, you know. And what the murals had done, actually, and that was part of the reason that they were conceived, was to unify the community and to show that, hey, we've got common roots with common needs and common desires, and really just we want a better world. And so that sparked an awareness and also a pride in the history and the hard work that has gone into the community.
I'm kind of like a history buff, and all the murals in town are history related, and I find all kinds of stories interesting. It doesn't have to be a grandiose, like you know, what happens in Europe or the main names. I also like listening to stories of little stories of the people that nobody really knows, but there is a history in a little small area of you know, like this corner of the world, let's say. And sometimes the history is pretty interesting. It's funny when you paint somebody in a picture, you've never met them, but then you sort of feel like you're kind of, with me when I paint people in the pictures, it's like I'm getting to know them, and I'm telling their story from my point of view, I guess. And so that's one of the things I feel when I do them. Well, with that painting there, because we know how terrible, you know, the human suffering that was involved over there in Rwanda, with that painting there, I didn't want to be extremely graphic, but yet you still want to have a kind of like a powerful message. When I first thought of laying it out, I said to Ernie, I says, you know, we have to have, it can't be all really negative. We have to have, show hope after what happened, because right. After something like this, you can just imagine the trauma that everybody goes through, you know, the psychology of this psychiatric yes. problems that the people would have and whatnot, and, yes. and you know, to deal with it. And so when I started, like we started the negative at one end and then positive, and if you look at the mural, it was very positive towards the other end, and in that mural I purposely depicted mostly all the positive images were mostly with women and children, because I kind of sometimes I look at the situations around the world, and you know, they're the ones that are affected the most, children and women, and a lot of times it should be the responsibility of men to bring the peace, and they don't. And that's why in this mural, if you see how I painted it, it'll be a little boy playing soccer. He's happy playing soccer. He's innocent in a sense, you know, before he gets dragged into what happens as he matures and whatnot, you know. So there's hope that maybe he will just do that and he'll have a better life and won't get very aggressive and start these wars and whatnot. And,
right.
You know, so, and I had, you know, the women, if you look up on the right side where the two women are, of course, you'll see the one woman is very happy and cheerful with the little baby, but the other one still is not sure of the future. The murals, I want people to kind of think of what it was like in that time too. You know, just put themselves in that place. That's how I look at murals, historical murals, and just let the imagination flow there. Go back in time, and put yourself there and imagine what it was like back then. And I think maybe you'll have an appreciation for the present and the past at the same time, and sort of understand I hope it'll make people understand their place where they are in the present, in the future, when they see these.
They've always loved art. We have drawings from when they were like 4 years old doing art. So when their uncle approached them about starting this project, it was really big for them. And they were both still in high school, and they were just thrilled because it was, they didn't know how far it would go, if there would be more murals come along, or so. Because both of them at one point knew they wanted to do it for their careers, it was like a big career move for them, like this was going to be big. Probably the one that impacted them the most was the one they did for their grandparents. So the family mural was big for them because they wanted to get it just right. So, and the others, well, obviously they work closely with the families, right? So I think meeting the families and coming up with exactly what the families wanted was a big learning curve.
I truly appreciate the efforts of Gail in preparing this documentary and this information on the murals. It's always more special for people on the outside who just come in to receive new information and decide right away that this has so enriched my own personal life that I want other people to know. And I know Gail in this production is coming from her innermost self and something of herself she wants to share to others.
After visiting the murals in Legacies, I was compelled to let others know about the hidden treasure found in Alberta. I feel these are of great value to the general public, and especially for the school curriculum, as there is so much history of our Canadian roots depicted here. I urge you to come out and take advantage of a guided tour. I know you will appreciate not only the history, but the beauty of these murals.